Yeah. And the premiumisation of Irish whiskey, if you like, the reaching out to, I suppose, what would have been considered the realm really of Scotch whiskey in the premium markets, now with the Redbreasts, the Dream Casks, the Powers, the Middletons, is that something that you're actively targeting? Is that premium market now?
I think, if you look at the numbers, we are underrepresented in the super premium categories. So that is clearly a focus for us. It's an opportunity. I'm very fortuitous insofar as my predecessors laid down the available stocks that I can now dip into to allow us to fuel the growth of brands such as Redbreast, Powers, Spot Range, and indeed Method and Madness, to show through innovation that the category can be dynamic and exciting. And that's, as I say, only because we have the liquid available to us. So the foresight that they brought to bear on the business is really paying dividends for us at the moment. But there's no doubt it is a focus for us, and we wish to see the sort of growth that we've achieved at the premium end of the market now translate into what we can actually achieve at the super premium and above area.
Yeah. In terms of the product portfolio, that seems to have diversified quite a lot. So you've now got the Method and Madness, you're getting Redbreast cask strength expressions, you're getting the Powers casks. Is that an attempt to get into those super premium markets and widen the portfolio? Or?
Absolutely. When we're celebrating what is singular and unique to Irish whiskey, that pot still style of whiskey, which we see obviously receiving accolades and being well regarded amongst the aficionados and the gatekeepers across the world. The opportunity is there, and now it's for us to really capitalise on that by making it available in more markets, putting the right resources behind it. And we're helped again by the Pernod Ricard focus now on having dedicated units in many markets that are single-mindedly focused, going after those speciality and prestige opportunities, and all the way up to luxury. So there is again a luxury unit within Pernod Ricard that is focused on building out the Middleton opportunity at that luxury end of the market. So there's no reason Irish whiskey can't occupy those price points. It can't do so with liquid and with propositions that the consumer loves. And we're really excited about what can happen at that end of the market. The numbers are starting to come through now in a way that gives us great encouragement for the future.
You see that Jameson's now recognised as one of the top 10 spirit brands in the world. I think that came in last year.
That's right. Yeah.
So everything seems to come under Jameson. There's movement, a lot of movement in the premium range, if you like. So Redbreast, we've heard, is an area of growth potential for you there. Could you explain a little bit about what's going to happen in the Redbreast range and maybe some of the other portfolio?
Yeah, well, obviously we've led with Jameson, and I think we set out with a vision in 2008 for it to be a top 10 spirit brand by 2020. So we managed to receive that accolade last year by Impact Magazine, which was a couple of years ahead of schedule. But it actually, what really rocked me on my heels when I saw the classification was to say that we outsell all of the Scotch whiskies in the world now except Johnny Walker, the Johnny Walker range, and there are only two other whiskies ahead of us other than Johnny Walker, so Jack Daniel's and Jim Beam. And that puts Jameson right there at the forefront of the category of Irish whiskey clearly, but beyond that it's at the top table of international spirit brands, which is a great accolade and a great testament to the team. Then comes the next challenge. Okay, we've got Jameson, and that's not to take that for granted, because we believe, as I've mentioned, we've got more to do with Jameson on a global stage. But the challenge thereafter now is to bring the rest of the portfolio to bear, and we believe within our portfolio that Redbreast is the brand that has real credibility and potential, building on the accolades that it continues to receive, particularly from the gatekeepers within the industry. Its uniqueness, its flavour profile, its style, the substance of the liquid speaks for itself. And we've probably been a little bit reticent about how we've told that story. Our previous strapline was find out what all the hush is about. I mean, it was a discovery brand that was kept close, but there was also great pride for those who understood what was inherently great about Redbreast in telling their friends and passing it on and giving them that same sense of discovery and joy of coming across one of the world's most preeminent whiskies. So we will do more with Redbreast, and we will continue to explore across the range and see how we can excite that consumer base, and that opportunity is clearly there. Beyond that, the Spot range, has done a wonderful job again in sort of breaking out the Irish pot still category into new and different variety, and obviously the launch of 15-year-old in the year gone by was a great success. And beyond that, then both Powers, Middleton, and even Middleton Method and Madness all have a role to play, but we need to be very choiceful about where we invest, the number of markets we try to take focus upon. Because one of the challenges and one of the things we learned from Jameson is you can spread the jam so thin that you don't really make an impact anywhere. And we just need to be very deliberate that when we put time and energy behind something, that it has grounded and been successful before we move on to the next opportunity, because there are many opportunities out there to capture.
One of the things that we notice is that the affection that people have for the Redbreast range, like it's a different kind of love of whiskey to the other brands. I think Powers has an affection as well, but it's different to the Redbreast consumer. The same maybe you could say with Middleton. The Method Madness, obviously that's, if you like, an experimental ground, if you like, and a rebranding aimed primarily at a younger drinker or a different demographic.
It's aimed at a demographic, but its primary role within the portfolio from our point of view is to show the breadth and the flexibility of what Middleton gives us the opportunity to do. Having invested in the micro distillery then in Middleton, we were able to experiment differently with different mash bills, but also with the wood management approach that Middleton is renowned for. It was taking it into different styles in terms of aging profiles. So it really was, to a degree, a chance for us to have some fun. Have some fun with the liquids that we had, have some fun with, I think the branding is very fresh, it's very dynamic, and it really is an opportunity for us to show the superlative flexibility that Middleton provides to us. So it's exciting, and we're just about to launch it in the US in the year to come, which is another step in the right direction that takes us into that big opportunity. And that again is part of the natural growing trajectory that we're on as people look for new and different things within the category. And Irish Distillers clearly want to be to the forefront of that intent.
Yeah, you've done a couple of other experiments. You've done the cold brew, and recently you released the Powers cocktail. Did you see more of those, or are they still early development phases of those products?
We send all of those through a sort of an incubation phase, where we sort of take them in an experimental sense into contact, as we say, with consumers. So as much as the PowerPoint slide and the consumer research can tell you whether consumers will respond to something, there's nothing better than actually making up a small amount of it and making it available. And as we mentioned previously, the new world of social media allows you to get a very quick read on whether there's appetite there, whether people are interested in that as a proposition before we blow it out into wider distribution or wider availability. So they're very early stage intents on our side to try and see whether there's appetite for some of those experimental intents.
I think the old-fashioned cocktail was certainly one we didn't see coming. That kind of caught everybody by surprise. But it works
really well. I mean, the flavour profile of Powers just lends itself to an old-fashioned. And the challenge back to the team was make sure that as it comes out of the bottle, it's as close to a bar-made old-fashioned as one can possibly get. Knowing that many consumers really love the idea of cocktail and cocktail making, but maybe lack the confidence at times to serve them up at home. So we're building on the cocktail culture that we've seen sort of emanate here in Ireland. And
you see big growth in that area, in the cocktail area?
Absolutely, no, I think honestly the quality of bars, and I was away out of the country for 7 years in various roles within Pernod Ricard, but to come back to Ireland now and see the bar scene as dynamic as it is, the quality of the cocktails has improved so much, the offering within spirits is, it's absolutely inspiring to look at a back bar now and see what's available to you. So we're trying to build on that trend, and we're trying to make the whiskies available in a way that gives consumers the logic and the rationale to drink them.